Good morning. We were supposed to start today with the Vatican City. However, it happened to be the day when the Pope met the people. Hence, we had to change our plan and visit the Vatican Museum instead. The Vatican Museum houses the extensive collections of art, archaeology, and ethnoanthropology gathered by the popes over the centuries. Open at 8 am every Monday to Saturday, we decided to reach the Vatican Museum before time and wait for its opening. The primary reason of reaching so early was to visit the Sistine Chapel early in the morning before it got too crowded. We walked through the vast passages of the Pio Clementino Museum in order to reach the Sistine Chapel, crossing the Gallery of the Statues, Gallery of the Busts, Cabinet of the Masks, etc. The tapestries on the walls were very beautiful, and so was the room of the maps. The frescoes of Sistine Chapel introduce us into the world of the contents of the Revelation. Julius II decided to partly alter the decoration, entrusting the work in 1508 to Michelangelo. The mosaics on the floor were also a sight to behold. The new Vatican Pinacoteca was inaugurated on 27 October 1932. It was built around a square garden, isolated and completely surrounded by avenues in a place considered suitable for assuring the best lighting conditions for both the correct preservation and their optimum aesthetic enhancement. The collection continued to grow over the years through donations and purchases until it reached the current nucleus of 460 paintings distributed among the 18 rooms on the basis of chronology and school. The collection contains masterpieces of the greatest artists of the history of Italian painting like Giotto, Fra Angelico, Raphael, Leonardo, Veronese, Caravaggio, etc. Apart from the paintings, the museum also houses the Gregorian Egyptian Museum, which has some of the masterpieces of Egyptian history. There are several examples of the Fayum portrait, which are famous all over the world. One of my favorite statues is of the Apoxymenos, which is the athlete cleaning himself.
My kids' friends know that Apoxyomeno means in English we translate with the man who is cleaning his body.
The octagonal court of the Pio Clementine Museum also houses some masterpieces of marble work. We retraced our steps through the Sistine Chapel to the Raphael Rooms. The four rooms, known as the Stanze of Raphael, form part of the apartment situated on the second floor of the Pontifical Palace that was chosen by Julius II as his own residence and used also by his successors. The pictorial decoration was executed by Raphael and his school between 1508 and 1524. Of all the paintings that were so beautifully depicted in the Raphael Rooms, the School of Athens will remain my favorite. We finally reached the collection of modern and contemporary art, which houses paintings by famous figures like Van Gogh. The modern Bramante staircase is located in the Pio Clementino Museum and marks the end of the museum visit. After a busy time at the Vatican Museum, we were very hungry and we decided to stop for lunch at an authentic Italian place. The second stop was the castle Sant Angelo, which served as a prison for a long time. Its most infamous cell was located in the back of the San Marco bastion and was called San Moracco. The condemned was lowered into it from above through a trapdoor into a dark and claustrophobic space with no other openings. The cell was originally built as one of the four air vents that circulated air into the central hall of the mausoleum of Hadrian, accessible by a spiral ramp and where the imperial urns were located. During the Middle Ages, it has been made into a dungeon, and it seems that someone has drawn there the obscure San Morocco. Though the castle has a very gloomy past, the views of the Tiber from atop was beautiful. There is a wonderful 360-degree view of both the Vatican City and Rome from the top of the castle, with the river Tiber flowing through the middle of it. The castle served originally as a mausoleum for Hadrian. It has a bridge across the river Tiber which has 10 marble statues of the angels. Each of these angels are holding something of significance like the cross, the crown of thorns, etc. Armed with a gelato, we moved towards Piazza Navona, which was built on the site of an ancient stadium of Domitian, wanted by the emperor himself in 86 AD. After the fall of the Roman Empire, the square came back to life in the second half of the 15th century as one of the main open-air markets in the city. The remains of the battered stadium were paved over to create Piazza Navona. You will realize that you are in the Christian capital of the world when you are in Rome. All the bylanes of Rome are full of these churches, which are beautifully decorated with Renaissance paintings and architecture. Our next stop is the Pantheon. The erection of the monumental complex in the area of Campo Marzio started after Augustus's victory at Azio. In Primus, the emperor patronized the construction of his magnificent mausoleum. Referable for its typology to the structure of the Calidrium of the Roman thermal systems, it is practically the only edifice of the Roman age preserved intact throughout the centuries. The real wonder is the gigantic dome-shaped covering with the central opening of a diameter of about 9 meters, the greatest expression of Roman architecture. Perfect proportion of the parts among them to be found in the Pantheon, in which scholars have read fascinating symbolic interpretations and esoteric choices. One of them, for example, is seeing the monument as a complex image of the Pythagorean universe where the laws of geometry, physics, astronomy, and music combine together. The Pantheon contains the tombs of various important Italian masters, including Raphael. The restoration works of the Pantheon were exceptional in that on the external part they were realized without scaffolding, thanks to the help of the skilled rock climbers only. I think it is difficult to get into a church in Rome without being fascinated by its beauty and splendor. We have reached the Baroque masterpiece of Rome, the Trevi fountain. We undertook a short bus ride in order to reach the Victor Emmanuel II monument at the foot of the Capitoline Hill. It was designed by Sacconi in 1885 and inaugurated in 1911. The monument celebrates the unification of Italy and honors Victor Emmanuel II, who was for many years a leader of the movement toward a united Italy, and in 1871 became the first king of the fully unified Italy. From the top of the monument, you get a glorious view of the night sky of Rome. If you have enjoyed the first part of our visit to Rome, kindly subscribe to our channel. We are going to come back to you with more of Rome and Roman history.